Welcome to Eastern High School's Athletics Podcast. Today we join Coach Shep, Coach Graves, and Coach Graham as they recap this past week in Eagle sports. Also sure to entertain, each week we'll hear from an exciting feature Eagle as they discuss the week's upcoming matches and games. And now, here are your hosts, Coach Shep, Coach Graves, and Coach Graham.
This podcast is sponsored by East End Plumbing Supply, the official plumbing supply of Eastern Athletics. Eastern alum Scott Jackson has been instrumental in adding and updating all of our plumbing facilities on campus. You should help him out with your business. Go to East End Plumbing Supply off Waterston Trail. Tell him Shep sent you. All right, welcome into episode 2 of the Eastern Athletics Podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Joe Schepper, otherwise known as Shep, the Athletic Director here at Eastern High School. I'm joined by my Assistant Athletic Director, Dylan Graham, or Coach Graham, or Graham. He's our stats guy and our info guru. And we also got our other co-host, which is Coach Graves.
Can I address something before we get started?
You want to stop already? Okay.
Listen, hold on. I have been asked all week, Coach Graves, why weren't you on the podcast last week? Why weren't you on the podcast? You only said like 3 words. And I have to stop. I have to stop and tell people why. I am being censored, okay? I'm being censored. This is going to probably be edited as well.
By the man.
They won't let me say anything. I'm still here working my butt off for this podcast, but everything is censored, just FYI.
Okay, so Graves is censored, and he's in on the podcast. And then we have our special guest today, which is our head boys basketball coach, Coach David Henley. We'll get more into David Henley as we get a little further on, but he could chime in as we talk through the last week and this week as we go. But we're going to have an in-depth with the interest in our Coach Henley. All right, so recap.
East Plumbing Supply.
This podcast, as well as every podcast, is brought to you by our wonderful sponsors over there off Waterston Trail, which is East End Plumbing Supply. East End Plumbing Supply, the place to go to for all your plumbing and hardware needs. Looks like the freeze got us out at the football field, so we're going to be doing a little East End plumbing supplying here in a couple weeks. So hopefully we have some toilets for the track team to use, but right now that bathroom is no-go. But it will be fixed by East End Plumbing Supply, so you should go help them out with business. I kind of ran out with what I said. So East End Plumbing Supply, Eastern alum Scott Jackson. All right, recap of the previous week. So last week the boys played Wagner. I went to that game down there in St. Matthews. Homecoming at Wagner.
Ruined their homecoming.
They were seriously hyped. We were walking in. With my daughter, and she looked in the room, and they had the lights going, and she was like, "What's in there?" And I was like, "No, we're going to this basketball game." And she was like, "Oh." Yeah. So, but yes, they ruined their homecoming. The Eagles had a slow first quarter, but when I left at halftime because my daughter was going nutso, I got a text from somebody there that said we won by about 40. So that's a good win down there.
By the way, there's been an allegation about your daughter. She allegedly eats popcorn off the floor.
Oh, constantly. Yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah. Some people take COVID shots, and some people eat popcorn off the floor.
Touche.
Okay. So Wagner got the W there. Went to John Harden on Tuesday. Took a trip down there and got the W down at John Harden. I think that one was another big win, 20 or 30 running clock. Shelby County last night here at school. The Rockets came into Eastern. Good night for us again.
Got that butt whoop.
We had a running clock in the JV game. I think we had a running clock in the varsity game. So 3 good wins for the basketball team. That's a good get your head right going into some of the biggest games of the season here. We got senior night on Friday and then the district next week. Wrestling participated in the regional. I think we had 9 people in the regional. Unfortunately, we did not have anybody advance to state, but that's not bad for a first year as a program after so many years off. Dance nationals. Dance was 9th out of 29 in the Palm, 15th out of 35 in Jazz. So once again, another program kind of rebuilding here at Eastern that didn't exist for a couple years. Archery. Let's talk about archery. So archery had a big tournament here on Saturday. Shut the 2 gyms down. Archery's awesome. I big fan of archery. All day, people coming in and out, super behaved kids, really focused on their craft. Scoring each other, always like that, where you police each other. Nick Green from Eastern, senior here, he won the tournament. So that's pretty awesome. We had 1,000 people here over the Saturday and 40 teams represented.
Won't they shoot you with a bow and arrow if you misbehave?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
That's self-reporting at its finest.
Self-reporting, yeah. So the way it works, like they literally just blow a little whistle. They like toot, and then they get up and they get their bow, and then they like toot, and they like, all right, it's time to shoot. So they go,
and then they all walk back.
And then they go, when everybody's done shooting, they go toot, and they walk up, and they get the little scorecard and they score it.
I don't think archery team gets enough credit because they are practicing since like October, and it's all year long.
Absolutely the longest sport at Eastern.
All year long. I think
it's longer than cheerleading.
I think they go 4 days a week, 5 days a week practicing. It's
and
crazy.
They also like literally have to set up a whole outdoor wonderland to practice. They got to go get 35 targets and animals and all kinds of stuff out of the old bathroom to get their practice in.
Yeah, they need more credit. Shout out to you guys.
Yeah, shout out to Archery. All right, Eastern Indoors. Haran hosted his indoor version of the Eastern Relays past weekend. It was on Friday and Saturday down at the Norton Center. 1 billion people were there. We talked about that on the last podcast. You know, that track program and their track boosters run some of the best events in the city. I mean, it's huge. People coming from all over the place. I get calls from states that I didn't even know that were coming to this thing all day, and they come to it. A couple notes for how Eastern specifically did in it. Sophia Richter, or Graves, Graham, you want to go over what happened at this one?
Yeah, so at the Eastern Indoors, Sophia Richter won a very competitive 400-meter dash, and she is also ranked in the top 5 in the state of Kentucky in the 60-meter and 200-meter. And she is new to us this year, I believe.
Awesome.
Correct.
Is she a freshman or?
She's a senior. She transferred from Manual, so she's going to be a big part of our track team this year.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I believe she signed with Air Force. She's going to run for the Air Force next year.
So she's quite an athlete.
Yep. Then we have now I know why you want me to do it. Pole vaulter Erin Radizak placed second in the pole vault, and she is ranked 4th overall in the state of Kentucky.
Some students might not know we have a history in good pole vaulters. Before COVID, we had a stud. Coach Rand will know his name, but he was like ready for the Olympics, and then COVID hit, and he gave everything up with it. But he was a stud. He was like 5'0" and literally dunked every day in PE class. It was phenomenal.
With a pole vault?
Yeah, he was no, not with the coach. We would never in our PE department have a pole vault out. That's very dangerous. He was dunking.
The volleyball, the football, the wiffle ball, the badminton, the pickleball, the basketball.
You have a variety of team sports that we work on. Yes, you're
definitely
correct.
have a variety.
Choice day, Coach.
Right.
It's choice day.
Listen,
choice day.
This kid
My
was.
bad.
This kid literally was amazing though. He was 5'0" and could jump out of the gym. It was awesome. Anyways, sorry, I apologize.
So I was looking for a pole vaulter because we didn't score in pole vault last year, and I'm competitive. This track team sometimes needs me to instill.
He did high jump.
Instill some competitivism, but basically, Coach Lord was out there. He had pole vaulters all summer out there. I swear, every time I went up there and mowed, there was 35 kids pole vaulting. I was like, man, we're gonna have a good pole vaulter. They're putting in serious work, and they're like from every other school but Eastern. Like, we don't have none of them. We don't even have a boy doing it.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying to find a boy. So we're out recruiting constantly. So here's what we're looking for, and this is from Coach Lord. He said they got to be strong upper body, they got to be light, and they got to be crazy enough to be upside down most of the day. And I think Christian Dunn. I was after Christian Dunn for a while, but I'm not sure if he's going to come out after swimming or not. All right, so Eastern Indoors, good stuff. All right. What'd you say?
I
Go
didn't
ahead.
get to the last one. So along with all the individual accomplishments there, the Eastern Indoors were recognized as the National High School Meet of the Week. So we hosted the #1 high school track meet in the country.
You can see that on social media. I mean, I just get tagged all day and stuff. Like people know Eastern for their track, and that's pretty impressive from Haran. Preview of next week's events. All right, obviously next week, the reason why we have Coach Henley on is because we have boys and girls basketball starting the districts next week. We'll talk more about that when we get to Coach Henley. Swimming currently right now.
Do both girls have Ballard as well?
They do.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go over that here in a second. But dive championships going on right now as we speak. One of our girls is or a couple of our girls are diving. Swim is this weekend. We'll give you a recap of that next week. And then track is doing another meet down at the Norton Center, which is the President's Weekend Invite. We are currently making our way into the dead week, not dead period, the dead week at Eastern High School, which is the period between winter sports and spring sports. I think lacrosse starts with a trip to Nashville here in a couple weeks, and that'll kind of start us on spring sports. So That brings us to our special guest. And before we get to the questions, let's talk a little bit about basketball first. Our special guest is head coach David Henley. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
I don't know. I got a face that only a mom could love.
Super coach, tell them.
You know, I don't know. I've
Brag a
been
little
around. My dad was a high school coach. I'm a high school coach. I've been doing it for 36 years. Won a few ball games, lost a few along the way. Just keep chopping wood. That's what we do.
Yep. Tell Coach Henley played in a state championship game as a player.
That's
year
correct.
19. Just go ahead with it.
40 years ago.
1983.
And our high school team just had a celebration. The high school coach now, he had everybody back last Friday night when we were playing at Wagner, and all the guys from my team were there, and of course I wasn't there.
What high school was that?
Carlisle County.
Carlisle County.
Right on the Mississippi River.
Yep. Very cool.
Right above Hickman County.
And then you won a state championship in 2009.
2009, yes.
Yep. With what
We had
school?
Covington Homes.
Covington Homes.
Which, if you've ever been to Cincinnati, you drove right through the middle of Covington.
Affirmative. We've got a little before you keep going. We got a little
Go.
trivia about
Got
that
you.
year.
Got
How
it.
well do you remember that year?
Vaguely.
Okay, we had an
The
impressive
fog.
Impressive
As is most of my life.
36-2 record.
Correct.
Do you remember the two teams you lost to?
Yes, we lost to Bryan Station the second game of the year.
Yes.
They beat us by 16, I
Yep.
think. And then we beat them in their own tournament a couple weeks
Affirmative.
later. And then we lost to Boone County at Boone County. And it was probably a 5-point game, 7, something like that.
And
we
then-
beat them in the regional finals 32-29.
I was about to say, do you remember the score? 32. Yeah, 32-29.
Was there any stall balling going on in that game?
No, it was one of those games where it was really physical and the refs just didn't call anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't good for us or good for them. It was just they didn't call anything. It was just a free-for-all.
So it
And
wasn't like a
it was-
game strategy of, hey,
no,
we're
it
going to
was
slow it
nobody's
down.
strategy. If you started to drive, both teams would just grab each other and you couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
If you tried to shoot a jump shot, you get hit on the arm. Nothing was called.
Yeah.
I mean, it was both ways, but it was just
I assume being from
one of them
Cincinnati, Boone and Holmes, that was probably a big rival, wasn't it?
well. Our biggest rival was Covington Catholic.
Okay.
That was our big rival.
That's
And
the
Covington
public
Holy
rival.
Cross.
Yeah.
Holy Cross was about a block and a half from Holmes.
Yeah.
Covington Catholic was on the other side of the interstate, but we had some really good games with Covington Catholic.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're
So-
good, man.
So let's jump into the games we got coming up. So we got district this week.
Yep.
The girls, I'll go over the girls real quick. They got Ballard on Monday. We don't have school Monday. We don't have school Tuesday. We have a gold day for all of us. But so on Monday, the girls play Ballard at 7. And the winner of that would play Cal. There's only 3 teams in our girls district. And then in the boys district, our boys are going to play Ballard at 6 on Tuesday.
At Cal.
At Cal once again. And the winner of that would play the winner of KCD and Cal on Friday, which would be the 24th. But we have drawn Ballard. Ballard, I think, currently is ranked, I don't know, there's like 10 different rankings we're working with now. We got KSR and a couple other ones, but they're in the top 10-ish, probably somewhere around there. We obviously played Ballard earlier this year. Tough game back and forth. I think we were tied with about 4 or 5 minutes to go in the game.
Correct.
Yep,
Turned
and then we
over.
lost by 7. So, I mean, Ballard's a good team. They got one of the better kids in the city, Gabe Siska's on their team. So what are we looking at as far as what do we got to do to beat Ballard in this district game?
Without
Don't tell no secrets.
They're
They're-
listening.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
don't
well,
get-
you know, it's
Coach Henley don't always understand
Well,
technology, so we got to make sure.
this is true.
So
this is true.
Don't divulge too much.
No, you know, when you get there and you prepare, you know, there comes a point where as you're meditating and breathing and really inhaling and exhaling, you got to really focus on the eyelids. And that's what we try to get our guys to do, is to focus on breathing through the eyelids, and it releases the tension.
It does release
It
tension.
releases the tension.
I've actually heard that.
And
before.
actually, you know, we're taking the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile to the game. So I think with that, we take the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile, breathe through our eyelids,
that will loosen up
and
the boys.
then if we score more points, I think we'll be good.
Oh
That's
my
critical.
goodness.
Scoring more
And
points.
you know,
than-
it's basketball is 100-something years old, and you know it's never failed. That method has never failed.
scoring
Score
more points than the other team.
There's no doubt.
That's a
There's
valid
no
point.
doubt.
Well, that really. I mean, I feel confident. I feel confident going into this.
They're really the fun part is preparing, to do the pregame rituals that we do, the preparation in the locker room, especially with the blue LED lights we have now. That really adds to the ambiance and everything. So, they got some good ball players over there. They got a nice ball club. Coach Willis has done a good job in his first year. We got our hands full, but I think they got their hands full too.
I like to say in baseball, weirder things have happened, boys. Weirder things have happened. So
yeah, I mean, you got to go out there and you got to get the job done,
Yeah.
Coach. You can't just go out there and lollygag
Right.
around because you lollygag in the locker room, you
What's that
lollygag in
make you?
warm-ups. That means you're gonna lollygag in the game.
makes you a
I
lollygagger.
guarantee it.
Makes you a lollygag.
Does it?
But they got a good ball club. They got a squad that can put some points up, and we'll just have to go out there and give it the old college try.
Yep.
You know
Right,
what I mean?
neutral site.
We won't
Neutral site.
be- we won't be scared.
Best team's gonna come out.
We won't be scared. I'll probably be a little nervous.
Well,
but
what
if
did
you
Larry
ain't
Bird
nervous,
say?
if you ain't nervous, that means you don't care.
If you ain't nervous, you ain't ready. I thought that was the
Yeah,
term.
that means you don't care. So, I'll get nervous. I mean, I'm nervous now talking about
Right.
it.
Right.
My old high school coach, he used to throw up before big games.
Did he?
Dude's in the Hall of Fame.
Did he? What's his
Best
name?
coach ever. Craner Sloan.
Yeah.
Still lives down there in Carlisle County.
Yeah.
Yeah, always loved beating up
Who-
on Hickman County. And
Who's the
Lucas
best
Tillman.
player you played against? Now,
Played
let's
against?
backtrack a little bit. Coach Henley played college baseball at Southern Illinois,
Correct.
correct? After college baseball, did you go straight to coaching?
Yes, sir.
Where did you go straight
I
to
was
coaching?
like a student assistant at SIU, Carbondale.
Baseball or basketball?
Basketball.
Why did
Well,
you choose?
I started baseball, but I knew I wanted to coach basketball.
Why did you? So you just chose start coaching basketball because you love basketball.
Yeah, and baseball.
You were just good at baseball.
Baseball's boring. Did you hear that?
Yeah, well,
Did you hear that?
we say people
Who
that
wants to
aren't.
spend all of March in
we say-
long johns,
right.
a sweatshirt?
You
a
played
hoodie,
in Southern
gloves,
Illinois. That's
and in
going to
the
happen.
summer eating dust.
We say people that aren't smart enough to understand it, they don't like baseball. So that's you resemble that.
I mean, we were playing against Evansville, and he had Andy Bennis' signals. Our
Andy
guys still
Bennis. That's a
couldn't hit him.
classic. That's a classic.
Andy Bennis. That's a good one.
That is
We
a
still
classic.
All right, so ask him the question.
Okay, so you
Because I'm saying Andy Bennis like that. I don't want him to spoil.
Okay,
the
so
play.
We
who-
did win.
who's the best player you played against as a player?
in baseball?
or
basketball.
Or yeah, I'll go
Whatever.
baseball.
Baseball.
Baseball was probably Greg Vaughn.
Greg Vaughn, an old Red,
Yeah,
Tampa Bay.
strong dude.
He had
Yep.
50 home runs.
Where did you play him? In
He was
college?
at Miami, University of Miami.
Yeah.
We played him on spring break.
Okay. What about basketball?
Struck him out too. Nasty slider, low and away.
Never a doubt. What about basketball?
Probably Reggie Williams. Played at Georgetown. MVP of the 1984 NCAA championship
Yeah.
game. He was at Baltimore Dunbar. We played him in the finals at King of Bluegrass.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Winston Bennett was pretty good too.
Did
What
you
about-
win the King of the Bluegrass?
No, but Dunbar beat us in the finals.
What about coaching? Who's the best player you've seen as a coach?
Wow, I'd have to think about that. First one that comes to mind is Bill Walker.
Okay.
Played at Kansas State. Played for the Celtics.
Okay.
He was at North College Hill with O.J. Mayo.
Yeah, he went to- he went to UC, didn't he?
No, he went to Kansas State.
Who was his? Yeah, he was with OJ. That was like
O.J.
the
went
big
to
recruit.
USC.
Oh, gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha.
Bill Walker. We played those guys.
That's awesome.
And he was really, really good.
You thought he was better than OJ Mayo.
O.J. didn't play that night. So we got the
Load management.
We got the
LeBron
full
load
effect
management.
of Bill Walker.
Wow. Okay. Who's the
So,
last trip? Who's the best player you've coached at Eastern?
oh gosh, I mean, Trey Moses has had the most success, and Trey was really good.
Yeah.
Jordan Bringers was phenomenal. I was only here for 1 year with Jordan, and he was incredible.
Yeah.
But he stayed hurt his senior year, unfortunately for him and for us. But he was incredible talent.
Is Trey still playing in?
Trey's playing pro ball in Australia.
Yeah. Okay.
Good, and they're both good people.
Yeah. Cool.
You know?
Cool.
All right. Well,
Do we have anything else?
no. So let's just recap again. Boys basketball's got Ballard first round of district 6 o'clock at Cal on Tuesday. Let's move on to our game. What we got today?
What do we got today? I got one. Can I throw one
Yeah.
fun fact out there? Because we kind of glossed over senior night.
Oh,
But
okay. Yeah.
we
Sorry.
play- We play Central tomorrow, Friday. Whenever you're listening to this Friday, boys and
I'm
girls.
sorry for that radio in the background.
Yeah, we have a girls game first at 6, boys to follow at 7:30, and I believe senior night festivities in between.
How many seniors do we have?
Several.
Six? Is it 6? Okay.
6 boys and 4 girls.
Okay.
Yep. So we're going to celebrate 10 seniors on senior night. The head coach of Central is Bibby, which I believe spent some time at Eastern High School also coaching. Also, this is his last year. He's retiring after this year. So we will be playing them in his last regular season game. Also, who did you happen to beat in the 2009 state championship game?
We beat the Central Yellow Jackets,
Coached by
coached by Coach Bibby.
Okay.
Yeah, we beat those
Interesting
guys. It
fact
was a
there.
heck of a
Good
ball
job.
game.
There we go.
You know what's really interesting is when I was a player, we lost in a state championship in 3 overtimes, and as a coach, we won a state championship in 2 overtimes.
Wow. You lost in triple overtime.
Yes, sir.
That's not ideal.
That was Heartbreak Hotel.
That's not ideal. How much do you
I
think
checked
about that
in,
game?
man. Every single day. Every single day for the last 40 years. And I'm not lying.
I guarantee
At least
it.
once, every single day for the last 40
I
years.
guarantee
I've
it.
thought about it.
I guarantee it. What was the final score?
35-33.
Hold on.
Of a triple
Of a
overtime
triple
game?
overtime game. That's exciting basketball. And
that a
this
stall
is
ball
why
game?
the 80s
Wait,
get
was that
crap.
wasn't a stall ball game.
That was just, I mean, we were playing Henry Clay, and I mean, they had Mr. Basketball the following year, Steve Miller. I mean, they were just freaky athletic, and we had a bunch. I mean, I was probably our second best athlete. We had another guy that was a really good athlete, and we would have to. We didn't stall. We just moved the ball until we got a good shot, and they would come down 1 or 2 passes and score. And it was it's 19,000 people there. It
Yeah.
was tight. It was intense. It was an incredible game. I'd love to show you all the articles that people wrote about it, because when you see 35-33, you think, what a snooze fest, but it wasn't. It was over the top intense.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, but we did also get to the finals in 2008 and lost to Mason County
Wow.
in the state championship.
Wow.
And when the ref called a foul on Darius Miller, but he gave it to another player, but I won't go into that.
You don't think
But
about
since
this
we're
stuff
here,
at
it's
all.
probably my only regret in 26 years of coaching that I didn't call a timeout and make a big stink over it, because the ref knew what he did.
After the foul?
He knew what he did, yep.
You think he
would've
did
been
it on
It would have
purpose?
been Darius Miller's 3rd foul.
You think he did it on purpose, or you think...
Because he's standing right by me, and I'm telling him before he put it back into play, yeah, he knew exactly what
Wow.
he did. Yes.
Not
And
ideal,
year before that, we
Coach.
went to Final Four. So, a friend of mine told me, and I haven't checked, that I'm the only coach been to 3 straight Final Fours in Kentucky high school basketball.
Check
I
that
didn't
stat.
know. I don't know that.
That's a pretty
I
cool
want to look
stat.
it up, but I don't want to look it up, because if I look it up and it's not true, I'll be heartbroken.
So
My mom will
07,
be-
07,
my mom will be
08,
disappointed.
09?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
We got to look that up. But that
But-
would be very difficult, because Kentucky basketball has played
We
for a long
could.
time.
You get to just. Look
So
up
one of
everybody.
our-
Some of them, like you see, different schools that have been there they don't exist anymore, and some like Lexington. I think that's Henry Clay. They won
Yeah.
like 5 times in a row or something.
Wow.
Since then,
It's good.
who knows?
Yeah. You don't think about that at all, though, it seems like.
Every
You've
single
got
day,
got
every
it.
single day for 40 years, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to move on to our Mount Rushmore. So we do it at the end of every episode. We're going to do a Mount Rushmore of this week. We're going to do what, Dylan?
Of senior skip days. So
Not that we're promoting senior skip days.
We
not.
are not promoting senior skip days, but if we were to have one and we could choose whenever we wanted it, what is the ideal day to have a senior skip day?
What is your ideal day for senior skip day? You want to lead us off?
I'll go. I like the Monday after the Masters. That's a pretty solid senior skip day.
Monday after the
I've spent
Masters.
a whole weekend watching golf,
That's a good one.
eating pimento
I
cheese.
didn't even think about that.
Well, it's also right after spring break. So
Even
you just
beautiful.
extend
Just
spring break.
extend spring break a day.
That was
That's a
top-
beautiful senior skip day.
That
But-
was top of my list.
That could not be a staff skip day, because you're that guy if you take a Monday off after spring break. We would never do that.
No.
Because we're committed. But,
Unless you were like at the
Actually, I
Masters.
don't.
right.
But you
Or
do.
at the Masters. I do.
I
never.
don't take days off.
Dr. Warman, don't listen to that.
Graves, what you got? The day after
My-
the hurricane hit your house in Captiva?
No. Too soon. Too soon. I would go. See, when I was, if I would ever participate in a senior skip day, which I didn't, I would base my decision a lot on weather, because I want to get outside, do some activities outside. Mine would be Thursday of Derby. So going into Derby weekend, we get Friday off.
Derby.
I would take Thursday off. Derby. That's what I would do. And I would make it a long weekend, probably, spend some time outside, maybe see some horse races randomly. But that's what I would do. Coach
What about
Henley.
you? You're Mr. Vegas.
Right. Coach Henley, you're next.
I'm going to go with Friday.
Which Friday?
Friday.
You have to name. You're a senior, you're skipping. You're just picking a random Friday?
All of them.
He picked Friday.
I never skip. My dad.
You're not getting the point of this. You're not getting the point of this.
My
Coach.
dad, he got out of coaching. He became a truant officer at my high school in our
Right.
district. So I can never, because my
Right.
dad's a
So you
truant
never
officer.
did it.
How do you skip when your dad's a truant officer?
Do you take a lot of days off? You don't take a lot of days off.
No,
No.
I need to.
But you get.
I'm taking one off in April.
But you do get those food truck certificates though for coming every day.
Ormond Bucks.
Oh,
Ormond
yeah.
Bucks. How many have you spent?
Hot dogs coming this Friday.
How many have you spent?
None.
None. When's the last time you've opened your mailbox?
No, I check my mailbox every
Okay.
day, and I get it, and I put it on my desk,
Right.
and it's up under,
Right.
some stuff.
Okay.
No, but
Friday.
yeah,
Go with Friday.
I'm gonna go with Friday.
All right, Coach Graham.
I'm not saying that we already had one this year. There was rumors flying about that the Monday after Super Bowl that there was a senior skip day, and if there was one, I think that's a really solid play.
I do too.
I think that should already be a national holiday.
Yes.
I think that parent-teacher conferences or something should be on the Monday after the
Right.
Super Bowl.
Right.
And
But I looked
that
at
could
it. We
help push
talked about
along.
it. Coach, we
But it
talked about
was
that.
because I looked on my calendar from my Google Docs, being the teacher that I am and being so well
Technology.
organized, keeping up with my lessons
With
from
technology
last year.
as well.
Last year on that Monday was a skip day, and it was a good one. They did good.
They participated.
They went all out.
And there was a rumor during that skip day. I remember this. During that skip day, a teacher here that's also a coach, he might be in the same room as us, gave a test that day. And it was pretty kids weren't happy that somebody gave a test on senior skip
Well, let's
day.
differentiate. It was a quiz.
Quiz.
It was a quiz.
Did you let kids make that up?
Sure.
Okay.
They had to come in early.
Okay.
I'm early. You can
Right.
get up and get here early
Okay.
too.
All right. Well, that is
Now, but last year's skip day was good. I was proud of them. They did a good job.
Yeah.
There wasn't many seniors.
We
here.
don't condone skip days.
No,
we don't
it's
condone
not.
skip
No,
days.
don't do
Unless
that.
it's on Friday. But this year's senior skip day was this Monday, and it was just not good.
I didn't think
was
they did.
disappointed.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
No, it's senior skip day. They did not. I was disappointed in them.
Yeah.
I was really disappointed.
Well,
They didn't
probably
do
because
it
they
at
have
all.
6 senior skip days, and they're like,
Did
oh,
you
I
know
forgot.
that if
They
they
do have
put
a lot
one
of-
bye week after the regular season of NFL football, or they go to 18 games, which
Yeah.
I think is inevitable.
Yeah.
It puts it on President's Day.
Well,
Couldn't we have like
It puts
senior
the
bye
Super
day?
Bowl on President's Day.
Couldn't we give seniors a bye day
that'd be cool. Well, they have mental health.
Well, they already
days.
get 3 mental health.
They get a mental health day.
and give them
How
a
many
bye
days are we going to give them?
on a Friday?
When we released the football schedule, I had 3 people ask me who BYE was.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
One of them was a football player.
Well,
Leading it next week, we're having Coach Whalen come in.
Hey, I
football
had
coach.
TBD on the schedule one time, and a kid asked me who's TBD.
Yeah. Tough.
I said they're tough, man.
Tough.
To be determined how good they'll be this year, but they're tough.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end here. We're
I
gonna
think we got better this
Yeah, I
week.
think we
I'm
got
going to be
better.
totally
Yeah,
honest
I
with
think-
you.
I
It's
think
a
we got-
kudos to
Coach,
our
you
guests.
either
I
get
think
better, you either get better or you get worse. You
I
don't
think
stay the
somebody's
same
getting
guy.
better today, and I think it was
I'm going to be honest with you. I
Podcast.
think our guest was phenomenal.
I think it was
Coach, it's-
fantastic.
It was good.
Next
Coach,
week,
you got-
we're going to bring on
it's
new
all-
head football coach Ken Whalen, and we're going to cover what that season looks like for the fall. And maybe we'll have some spring sport previews following that. But thank you all for listening. Friday, we got senior night, girls basketball and boys basketball, and then next Tuesday and Monday, districts. See you there. Thank you.